All right. Oh, Katrina's here. It is officially 1 o'clock. Awesome.
You want to make me co-host?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we know we have sound, which is good because I did a video without sound this morning. All right, let's go live on the TikTok. Perfect. And we don't actually post those on school, but we're live now, so that'll be at the shaky thing at the top. So I can remove that. All right, guys, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, as one of our support staff always says. Uh, really? Oh, there's Neil. There we go. Gotcha. Let's invite. All right, I am here with Neil, who you will hear his voice. We'll need to make sure I turned his microphone off on TikTok, so you'll hear behind, because we've actually got two streams going. Don't cross the streams,
Do it.
in order to make this work on TikTok. Let's turn you up a little bit. Said no one ever. Just kidding. For those of you who are just here, I am Dr. Mo. And this is Neil. And Neil and
Hey,
I have
y'all.
known each other for a decade.
Or more.
So, or more. Let's round to a decade because otherwise this shit gets ugly. If you want to see Neil's face, other than this teeny tiny little circle on TikTok, you got to do two things. You got to follow Neil Hyzak, FNP. He is in the comments and right next to me on the TikTok. So go follow Neil so we can get enough followers to get there. Or you can head over to watchdrmo.com and you can see us over there. If you're a patient, you can actually head into school, which is our private group. You know where it is. And you can, Neil, we left again. You left on TikTok again.
Oh, it said it disconnected.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, it says something happened. Yeah, I got disconnected.
Whatever. Okay. That's fine. Watchdrmo.com and you can see us over there. Is that your video, Neil, repeating
Yeah, it was
me?
me. I was pulling up YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know why it doesn't start muted. Like Zoom always
It
starts
doesn't.
muted, camera off.
It's a computer specific setting because today
Okay.
it started muted on my other computer and I did a 15-minute video with no sound because I didn't know that it was not working because it started off muted. I was like, oh, how cool. It starts off muted. Not cool when you're screwing up into a 15-minute video for nothing. So anyhow, all right, guys, what we do here is we try to tone ourselves down for TikTok because I keep getting in trouble. So let me rephrase. What we do here is we have GLP-1 chats and lifestyle medicine chats and try not to swear or say anything at all controversial. Yeah.
Even bad things. We're not allowed to tell you not to do bad things because we'll get flagged for that.
Correct. Yes. So we can't discuss even bad habits you're not supposed to do and tell you not to do them. Thank
Uh,
you, algorithm. AI
so
is good. So go ahead.
so first things first, we are from AMS Telehealth. So if you want to join us, go to amstelehealth.com, and you can join our practice. We are a telehealth company that does longevity, weight loss. Right now, it's mostly weight loss because that's the new big thing. That's what everybody wants to do. We can talk about regular old medications like Zepbound, Monjuro, Wegovy, the brand name stuff. We also do compounded. We love compounded. Right
Yeah.
now, that seems to be the biggest option. If you look on some of the forums, because they're not allowed to say that word compounded, they call it Plan C, and we are all about Plan
Oh, I
C.
like that. I like that. Plan C.
Yeah,
That's
A and B didn't
fantastic.
work, so C's the next one there.
Oh,
And
and
then first
thank you
things
to the
first,
Lauras for following. We had two Lauras just follow us. So like us and follow us. Tap the screen because the hearts make me smile. Okay.
please follow Neil too. Um,
Yes, you hear Neil behind me, who's on a computer. But if you want to go to watchdrmo.com to see us, or do watch Dr. Mo to see us, or amstelehealth.com, which is what Neil said, to come be our patient. Super easy. Paige Schiller, don't take these chemicals. Paul has spoken.
oh boy. Well, let's get this out of the way too. This is not medical advice.
Yeah, it's not medical advice, not legal
We-
advice, not financial advice, not relationship advice.
It's no kind of
Although,
advice whatsoever. We're just
right?
kind of shooting the stuff because we won't swear today. Um, with whoever. And we will
Page
try to help
filler.
you out, answer generalized questions for whoever wants that kind of knowledge. If you have something specific, you can always join our practice and we can get you in there. The big thing about our practice is we don't charge you just to talk to us like some of the other ones join Mochi. Um, we can kind of
Don't
see it.
badmouth them. Myra's doing a
Okay.
damn good job
Okay.
considering. I
Um,
enjoy
but,
my
but-
chemicals. Actually, you
well,
know what we haven't addressed in a long time because people haven't asked. So, Paul, thank you for bringing this up. Much appreciated.
shills.
Um, because because I had these Instagram ads that are starting to pop up with get your own. So really, I kind of agree with Paul. Okay, let's just call this out because these stupid Instagram ads are popping up with target rich. This pissed me off. Oh, here we go. Let me calm myself
Already
down.
did it.
Let me calm myself down. I'm gonna get in trouble. It's like you'll have X number of patients and will. Hold on, I gotta decline this. Um, whatever. It's a marketing tactic for people to build their own businesses. Now, I do teach people to build a real telemedicine, remote health. We are real people, virtual medicine. There's the difference. People haven't asked this in a long time, though. Are you a real doctor, right? Do I look like a doctor? Not at all. I'm dressed in my old triathlon shirt where because it fits and it's because it fits, right? For those of you who are patients out there, you know me.
What do I look
Does it
like? What do I look like?
Aladdin,
A hot biker.
hot biker. Forgot
There's
about
that
that. My dad
patient.
calls you Aladdin.
Does you
Yeah.
really?
He's like, I need to see Aladdin. I can't see his face.
Oh,
So I find that hilarious.
okay. I love that.
I know, right?
Thanks,
Uh,
Dad.
so yeah, so I am a real doctor, actually. Neil and I are both emergency medicine trained primarily. However, we are also both nutritionists and with a love of lifestyle medicine, love of activity. I wish I could have Neil's love of lifting. I'm more of the straight ahead, on the ground cardio kind of person. I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly but surely, right? My little teeny tiny Bugs Bunny muscles are working at it. Um, but yes, we actually are actual healthcare providers. And one thing that we do a little bit differently, a lot differently than people going without medical guidance or, uh, well, period. We'll separate it into two categories, right? The people who are just ordering from Bob or people with an actual provider. We want you to have success and we kind of don't stop till you get there. So that's us which is why we're here donating our time, essentially, chilling out because we know that a lot of people have questions. They don't know where to go. Now, I'm not your doctor. Even if I am your doctor, I'm not your doctor here on TikTok or YouTube or Zoom or whatever. Um, I love life. Paul, these chemicals have saved my life. I know, right? So I do like chemicals. I like chemicals like H2O. That one's a pretty good one. NaCl is a fantastic chemical. Love it. Anyway, can I be snarky and not get flagged by TikTok?
I don't know. We can try and see what happens.
I know, right?
See, but also with other than Bob's peptides, like we're here to help help people. Like maybe they are not happy with their provider. It is possible their provider stopped doing it. Like, oh, I won't go over 10 milligrams of Monjuro, period. It's just not
Right.
happening. Okay, well, we will. Or they stop them. Like you get to wait, and they stop their medications. Like that doesn't make any sense. And we're here for maintenance. We have lots of patients on maintenance for a good period of time. You've been on maintenance for a year, maybe
Or a
more.
year,
Yeah.
a year and 3 months now.
So we have way different beliefs, and we're here for the long haul with these medications. So, but I was going to say the difference between us and other places, you sign up for them, you pay them your money, and then, oh, your appointment's not for 6 weeks.
6 months. I'll tell you that
It's
story
some of
after we
them.
grab Lola's
Okay.
question.
Yeah, we're much like we could theoretically get you started today or tomorrow for a lot of
Right.
patients. And
Which
depending on
means
what
for some
pharmacy
of
you
our,
use.
I was going to say, for some of our pharmacies, you'll have your stuff by Tuesday.
y- Oh yeah, because it's Friday. Otherwise, they'd say I'm
Friday.
like, you get your meds by tomorrow, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah,
probably Tuesday.
Friday. So, Lola, your doctor gives it to me, but the insurance won't cover for maintenance. Insurance won't cover in a lot of cases, uh, period.
Yes.
I, yeah. I mean, we do appeals, we do PAs, we do appeals, blah blah blah. We do charge $75 for a PA, and which also includes the appeal. Um, Unfortunately, it's includes it because we know it's probably not going to work, which is so shitty. Oh,
It just
sorry.
seems like they automatically deny them. Like they don't even read them, look at them, anything. Denied.
Hi, Jackson. How are you? So, oh yeah, so somebody said how we get started. If you go to amstelehealth.com, click be a patient. Check out our states though, and go to Pomegranate if you're not if you're not in our states. We also we all Jackson's from Pomegranate, so and they're newish, new to me anyway. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
newish. So Jackson, you better be good to these people because I tell them to come to you. Um, but they do we do Florida? Hell yeah. That's where my most so we are physically located. I know, right? We are physically located in Texas. My heart and my brain mostly live in Florida on a general. Okay, so Pomegranate's 8 years old, but new to the weight management sector. Good, good, good. I like that weight care management because it's not about weight loss, right? It's about weight management. This is a long game, people. This is not, we're not your grandmother's Phentermine here. No fen. Um, so yes, we are in Florida. That is probably our second largest patient group just because I love it there and period. That's how we actually chose our states is every one of us has a tie to one of those states. We might pick more based on how many people we keep get like asking. Pennsylvania's in the works, but that's a pain in the rear end already. Um, so it'll take months. But that's my husband went to school in Erie. So, you know, that's coming up. And plus it was like right between Buffalo and Cleveland. So, that's what we did. Do you do compound, but on 12 and a half Manjaro, insurance took my PA. Will I start all over again? Oh, no, no. When you come to us, you just tell us, show us a picture or something and just don't lie. Okay. Just don't lie. We trust you. So if,
Yeah, I
if you give
mean,
me a med list, so I mean, think about when you're like, you go to the ER, somebody gives you a medication list. We don't ask for pictures for all those. We trust you because this is the basis of a very open relationship.
yeah, and if you've been on 12 and a half and like let's say you have one pen left and you start with us, we're going to go right to 12 and a half. Now, if you've been off for a couple months, we'll talk about it. And we do typically escalate our patients that were on higher doses quickly, but usually we start a little bit lower. Kind of depends on where you were before. Like if you were 12 and a half, you've been off for a couple weeks, we probably like a month, we probably start at 5 and then escalate quick.
Yeah. Well,
Depending
Amanda
on who
was
you-
actually telling me she has a friend slash patient who was on semaglutide for 1 milligram, stayed off a little too long, is the way Amanda phrased it. And Amanda told her, don't just take point 0.5 and then we'll escalate you. And the person said, no, I'll be fine. And she is on day 6 of not being able to eat. And she was
Just
throwing
breathing
up
in
for the
fills your
first
stomach.
time. I mean, like, come on, guys. Like, we've done that. We love this. We live this. We breathe this. This is what we do.
That's the thing with like semaglutide. Like it works so fast. You literally could take a shot today and like, I don't really feel anything, and take the other half tomorrow or in
Right.
2 days and then get right on track.
Just give us a second. I promise. I promise we will do this. Jackson said it baffles me sometimes that patients from med spas say they're on 60 milligrams instead of units. They don't know, or they say 60 units, and you're like, okay,
That's why we do a lot of
because
pictures, Jackson. Like we'll just send us a picture of that vial. I've calculated so many doses, and every pharmacy is so different. Like we really emphasize with our patients, like, that's gonna your dosing is gonna change because you switch pharmacies. Let us know, send us a picture, any questions, because we've had lots of overdoses because they go with their old directions and the stuff they just got is super concentrated versus some really watered down stuff. So they're taking 8 units instead of 50 units.
right. Instead, they think, well, that can't be right. I'm sure I'll just take 50. That's a bad idea,
You can have bad time.
right? You're gonna throw up other people's food.
I'm going to bring this up. Jessica's White. I really appreciate you guys. My provider was very judgmental when I even brought up weight loss meds. And that's unfortunate. Like, he's there for your health. And like at the end of the day, a lot of these meds are fixing a lot of the other problems that he's dealing with every month. Like who wants to take a statin and a blood pressure pill and some metformin to get your A1C down? And this one kind of fixes those. No,
Like,
we have patients
oh,
off their blood pressure medicines, not taking statins anymore, from a once a week shot.
not biting their nails, decreased MS meds,
Stop drinking. Their IBS is under
stop
control.
smoking. Yeah, I mean it's and we know we're preaching to the choir for a lot of you, but a lot of you just are the don't know. So ask away, ask.
And the nail
Um,
biting thing, someone out there listening might be like, I stopped biting my nails. You're right.
So you know what else I heard? Here's another good one.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, I have not been able to get rid of old clothes. They were hoarder, right? Well, that's my emotional security, among other things, right? We know the food's an issue. That's no surprise if you've ever heard me speak. But I didn't even realize I went through and got rid of 70% of my clothes. We had water damage in the closet. Let's condense, hi Linda. Let's condense this 7 month story. Like, so I water damage in the closet. Closet's moved upstairs. In the process of moving downstairs, I had this piece of paper that said 80/20 was my goal, right? I wanted to keep 20% of my old clothes. If you wonder why I'm looking back and forth, I have two screens up at the same time. I'll try to move one over.
You're having
Um,
a seizure.
you know, right? Because I'm having a seizure. That's fine. It's fine. It smells like toast. Um, so but so somebody said I was able to get rid of all these clothes. I literally donated 30 years of clothes that like I couldn't fill my new closet. It's amazing. Like but I never related it.
I
So
figured
anyhow,
you didn't want to carry all that stuff back up.
I
It
still had
was
to
a
carry it
lot.
downstairs. No, because it was upstairs to carry it downstairs. So it would have been
Okay.
easy. Carrying it up was a pain in the ass. Okay.
Here, Haley's on her fifth dose of compounded semaglutide last week and only has down 3 pounds. Is that normal?
For you, yes.
Yep. Some
Yep.
people don't lose a lot on the low doses. I mean, technically on semaglutide, the weight loss doses are 1.7 and 2.4 milligrams. Some people do have tremendous light weight loss at the low doses. Some people need to get up a little higher and they really start seeing results when they get to one. Sometimes it's 0.5. So you're probably just not at your dose.
Yeah, and Jackson said it's completely normal. You're treating a system of the disease of obesity. And that's just it, right? Obesity, yes, it's a disease. I understand that. But for me, I never had like the body hatred. I didn't have the mental body shaming. What I hated were the behaviors that I could not, that I was not strong enough to do on my own. Here's what I thought. Literally the very first obesity medicine lecture I listened to, and studying for my boards said it had this big huge diagram, nightmare of like a biochemical diagram, and I'm like, oh shit, is this how this course is gonna go? Because this isn't gonna be pretty. And she looked and she said, okay, nowhere in this diagram does it say willpower. And that was the start. And I thought, holy shit, like, huh, okay. So, um, it is, it's a system. And yes, it is not willpower. You cannot run your fork and you cannot override biology. So, oh, I'm behind. I'm behind.
Sorry, Kike's asking, what pharmacies do you use? So we use a couple of pharmacies, like, I think five right now.
I think six. We had at Cypress.
Cypress. Okay. So Cypress Pharmacy, Empower Pharmacy, Right Value. I think that's Axtel,
Mhm.
Link and Drug Crafters, and then Southlake. So pricing depends on which state you're in. Semaglutide starts, depending on the state, around $150, and tirzepatide starts at around $200, depending on the state. Someone was asking about, yes, different doses do cost different amounts because they don't sell it by like this is a 12 milligram dose. They just sell a vial of like 5 milligrams, 20 milligrams, or 60 milligrams. And I think the cheapest is around 440, which is 60 milligrams. So that would get you 5 weeks at that dose. I
Yeah.
would just round down to 12. I don't think you'd see the difference.
So electrolytes, yes, I'm drinking a not so favorite flavor just because I have it in the house. Neil's got Prime,
That is
has a
prime
little
out,
with Celtic sea salt, of course.
of course.
Uh, and I use Body Armor Light. I like it. I tolerate it, and it makes my weird body pains go away for the most. Um, so Pebbles had a question. Medicare covered GLP-1, but I actually like the initial hell version instead, because autocorrect was probably more appropriate. So Medicare will cover GLP-1s for diabetes in some cases. It really depends on the person, the plan, the supplemental plan, all that other stuff. We always tell our patients to call insurance. We give them a list of questions, which is, what medications do you cover and what are the clinical criteria for each of them, which of course would piss them off because it makes them do a little work, but whatever. I have not tried Salute ones. They're good. Okay.
Let me go back to the hydration thing. Honestly, it's any drink that's electrolyte that you'll drink, whether it's liquid IV, the two we put up there, it's any of them. You just have to be able to drink it. Some are gross
Oh,
for some people. Some don't like salty stuff, so liquid IV is probably out.
or like I realized recently, you could add Morton light salt, a serving of Morton light salt to like 20 ounces of water. And that gets you at least the sodium and the potassium, nothing else, but it gets you the sodium and the potassium, which are the critical ones, right? Sodium, potassium pumps from those of you who remember school.
Amar's asking, I think it's a two-part. Have you come across super strict insurance? My insurance wants a BMI of 35 and they want patient to be on insurance for 2 years. So yes, I've actually seen one that was actually they wanted a BMI of 40 or more. That's what some are going to. Is it Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan added in? You have to try like join Weight Watchers and do like 11 of the 12 modules that they have. You have to wear a pedometer for 6 months and average like 5,000 steps a day. You cannot type it in. It has to come from the monitor or the tracker itself. So some are getting really strict about when they'll cover these. Plus, you have to, try like 4 other medications, unfortunately. Let's see.
Oh,
Here, what do you recommend eating to avoid being nauseous?
it's a
Will soon
great
begin to
question. A
identify.
great way to phrase it, right? That was perfect.
So Laura Boo. So everybody's a little bit different. Some foods really bother some people's stomachs. So there's some things that I would avoid initially. I would probably avoid red meat until you're on it for a week or two, and then see if it bothers you. And then cruciferous vegetables. So basically cabbage, little Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. Those sometimes that you tolerate now when they sit in your stomach for a long time really cause some indigestion and the sulfur burps. Um, those are the things I would avoid. But other than that, small meals more frequently. If the lowest dose is very, very effective for you, eating a couple of grapes might fill you up. So the biggest thing is avoid overeating when you first start taking it. And then avoid like 2 to 3 hours before bedtime eating.
That's what I was just going to say. Even if you don't overeat, before bedtime is really critical, and that's my binge time, right? So I have a big mental Audubon highway pathway right there. So it's been a good week. I've kind of called myself out on my own bullshit, which is pretty good. We can go into that later. I don't want to talk about it right now. But I just not like listen, it's hard enough to do the things. I don't want to be vulnerable for God's sake. Um, so but yeah, I agree with that. So especially like the late at night, especially mixed foods. If I could have like simple food like a protein shake, I don't have any problem. I can do that if I'm hungry. Um, but like last night I had a burger and fries that ended at 8, which wasn't terrible. Okay, that's a super fun thing. Did you see that thing on TikTok?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck's going on my phone?
That was amazing. I don't
Good
know who did that.
afternoon.
I don't know who did that, but did you ever see the movie Spirited with Good Afternoon?
I don't think
If
so.
you haven't seen it, you have to watch it this Christmas and you're going to think back to this conversation. Anyone who's out there, you're going to laugh. Anyhow, but no, I really appreciate it. That was perfect. Um, so bye bye 28, 27, just joining. What about the lingering headaches? Mine will last days. What am I doing wrong? So some people do get headaches. Goes away usually 6 months in, 3 to 6 months in. But a lot of times it's hydration. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
mine
good.
was hydration specific. My first 2 weeks of semaglutide, I had headaches intermittently. I mean, I had to use Reglan for the headaches for myself, and it wasn't because I was nauseated.
Hmm.
It would kind of help with my like migraine, and it was hydration. I just couldn't drink enough because I had zero appetite, and I was still trying to eat. So I think if I had hydrated more and paid less attention to food and just gone the liquid food route and had protein shakes, I think I would have been better off.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I have my chat scrolled. But I was on Reddit today and got caught up in a post. Somebody said, "Why doesn't everybody just go see an obesity specialist?" Well, let's unpack this. So, and they said they had TRICARE and they had a great experience. They saw an obesity specialist who did their insurance, did a bunch of blood work, did an appeal, got Zepbound covered, this and that, the other thing. Okay, so first of all, let's address. It also took him 5 months to get into said obesity specialist. If you're anything like me, I was finally ready to change and I needed help then. I didn't want to wait 5 months. I had waited 40 years. I was done. And when you get a client, patient, friend, family member who's ready to change, take that opportunity, right? I mean, and you can find an obesity specialist online, right? Laura Galdamez is obesity medicine board certified. I hope to be this fall. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Working on it, working on it. But my whole point is it doesn't usually work that way. And people chimed in with, "Oh, I went to an obesity medicine specialist. They just wanted to sell me supplements." Speaking of shills, right? So, and I get that. Everyone thinks my first online telemedicine foray, I did all the paperwork to try because I said I don't want to wait 3 weeks to see a doctor about this. I want help. And I did see my doctor who said eat less and move more. Now this is after I went in person and tried to get help. And, now those of you who know my story, yeah, I've done 7 Ironmans. I know how to move. We're good. We're good. And I'm a nutritionist and a doctor, and I have a lifelong passion for nutrition, so I know what to do. Okay, now that's not the issue. Um, but the first people, they said, "You're not fat enough. Here's our supplements." Super amazing.
It won't work. You'll get lighter, your wallet.
Right, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyhow, that was
Okay.
that. And that was there's lots of stuff to unpack with that one, but we have too many questions.
Let me hit
Um,
this one real quick as I'm like, I
did you get
think
the 2 years on SEMA?
oh no, not that one yet. This was just real quick.
Okay.
Veronica was asking, what is the cost for compound tirzepatide to start? Depending on the state, it starts around $200 a month, plus our monthly fees. If you want to be one of our patients and you're in one of our states, go to amstelehealth.com and click become a patient. We will get you taken care of pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah,
Moving on.
especially during the week. Well, the week. So the problem with the weekends is the compounding pharmacies are not open on the weekends. Now, if your insurance covers Zepbound or whatever, or you want to pay the 515 use a Zepbound savings card and you're on a low dose because it's really what's all that's out there. We did not address the shortage, which was our very first question up
Yeah.
top. Um, if you want to call it into your local pharmacy, call Publix and literally we could add that prescription to you probably by the end of the day today, if not tomorrow.
But on the other hand, we could get you all started up, ready to go, and they order it Monday morning. And if you choose, depending on the pharmacy you choose, you might have it Tuesday morning and ready to
Right.
start. And you just have a big blowout weekend. Like I'm starting my journey Tuesday. That's what it
Right.
is, you know.
Just don't
And
do it
then
Monday night. Just don't do
let's
Monday
address that shortage. So no, there's no, we do not know end in sight. I think they're still pushing stuff out there. I have patients getting stuff. I have patients not getting stuff. It's super random still. Um, I am guessing there's less new prescriptions going out there because even though people really want it, because there is such a shortage. I'm not seeing that as much of people wanting Monjuro at least on Reddit. I can't find, I finally got approved for two, and I can't get it. So there's less of that.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
but I was on Reddit the other day and I haven't been on that subreddit and I saw that post, but it's like painful. There was someone on there and they were blaming the government
Okay.
or even allowing like super processed foods and fast food restaurants and all this stuff. It's not even Eli Lilly. I'm like, okay, this is a new take, but they were mad at the government. So, well, they're mad at the government for, it's Andy, Eli Lilly and everybody. I'm like, trust me, like, I think everybody wants these medicines. Everybody wants to be healthier and in shape. And Eli Lilly's trying. I mean, they're buying up facilities as fast as they can or
Agreed.
building their own to get these things going. They want to make money, number one. And I think helping people secondary. But they want to get this out there as fast as possible.
Neil and I always argue. I am the ultimate idealist. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but here's the thing, right? So our 5 pillars with AMS, one of those pillars is stress. And one of those things is the food you feed your body, the thoughts you feed your mind make a difference in how your body reacts to food, nutrients, humans, whatever, right? There's no denying it. Studies have been done. We're not going to argue, period. So you sit there and you're going to spend your life angry at everybody. My guess is you might not lose weight that great either, just to throw it out there. Just don't waste your time. I was actually talking today. We've got a bit of a disagreement with a pharmacy that we worked with how much they billed us and how much we actually ordered from them. And we're still going back and forth, and they're making up numbers at this point. And I had a friend say, you should sue them for emotional whatever
Stress.
hardship. And I said, yeah, but that's my side of the street, and I'm too busy making a difference to bother. I just want it done. Yeah, because now they're literally negotiating the amount. I said, there's no negotiating an amount. We had patients who ordered medication. I don't keep a portion of that. We pass through that money to the pharmacy. This isn't like a, well, we're not shills, right? Let's just say that, you know? So yeah, that was you got to keep your side of the street clean, right? And that's one thing that we do at AMS is we don't just talk about the meds. We talk about keeping your brain clean. Yes, I get it. The government, ever since World War II, we've tried to make foods that are shelf stable. Yes, did we shoot ourselves in the foot? Yeah, but so did people who said we could be healthy at any size. That's not the case either. So stop lying to like I said, I've been lying to myself. Okay, I get it. I hear you. I'll talk about it later. Let's answer our questions. I'm
Yeah,
going to
so
keep avoiding it for a little bit longer.
Jackson's asking, are you in Georgia? My mom is with pomegranate, but the price is better with terzepatide. I'll definitely send her there. Unfortunately, not in Georgia.
We're not. Nikki Baldwin is. She's at Hamilton Telehealth. And guess what? Guess who stopped over and we had dinner last night? Nikki Baldwin.
What? Is she in town?
Yep. Was driving through on vacation.
Okay, cool.
So I met her in person for the first time yesterday,
That's awesome.
which was super cool. Super cool. All right. Oh, hey, it's
Oh,
Wendy asked. I'm 2 years on Sema max dose and think I've hit a wall. Could I benefit from switching to tirzepatide? Yep. Now we also do some other things.
yes. Yeah. I mean, so depending on what your issue is and when with why you're not losing weight, is it something else we can fix in the meantime? Like add it, making sure you're getting enough protein or the other four pillars, like, making sure you're getting enough sleep, decrease stress, hydrating, and then otherwise exercising and getting your protein in. We've had some success with adding other medications in along with these meds when people are either maxed out, can't afford to go up or switch meds, like adding metformin, naltrexone. So, if it's more appetite control, metformin works pretty good. If it's cravings, naltrexone works pretty well to kind of help with that. So it kind of depends on you specifically.
Okay, this is the best question.
Yeah.
Christine said, I lost 70 pounds and I'm holding on to old clothes. I'm afraid to get rid of the different sizes. Help. So this is a two-part thing. The way that it helped me in my head, because I had a bunch of race shirts that I didn't want to get rid of. Like this one from 2010. This one's super comfy though, and I couldn't wear it for so many years that I kept it. Um, but race shirts and things, I worked as an athletic trainer, right? I have not been an athletic trainer in 28 years. Okay. So, tournaments I worked and things. And I looked, I'm like, but how do I get rid of these? They're special, right? Or, what if I gain weight again? Because this is, how we roll. Now, the ones that were special or I just couldn't part with, I took pictures of them, first of all. Second of all, because I'm still a hoarder. Okay. I'll just be an electronic hoarder for a little bit. And because it's the security, it's the blankie, right? You already took away my food. Don't take away this. But I realized I'm like, well, who's going to want this Ironman Texas shirt? Nobody wants this shirt. How about somebody who doesn't have a shirt? And what if that shirt being worn by some kid whose mom is in a shelter, right? Gets inspired to make a difference, to go out there, do a 5K. I don't care. Put your good energy out into the world, right? And get these people your clothes. Who wants those clothes? Who's going to benefit from those clothes that they're in your closet? And the good thing is you can get your CRZ yoga pants. Nobody needs the Lululemon pants. If you need to go up a size for a little bit, you can. Amazon. I got all the goods. I got all the goods. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes anymore. So, but you have to kind of let go because this is your new persona. This is you. This is the real you. You don't have to wear the fat suit anymore.
See.
Maui Gal, do you suggest going compound tirzepatide until Zepbound can be filled? That's usually what we tell our patients, unless you want to wait, but we don't know when the hell we're waiting for. So, oh, some were filtered. Sorry, guys. Somebody else got a little nasty.
Connie saying I was having leg, calf, foot cramps prior to starting my GLP-1 and have them worse when I jab my tummy. I wonder if it could still just be an electrolyte issue, like a potassium issue. I would start hydrating with electrolyte drinks, see if that makes a difference. I know I get really bad like back cramps when my potassium drops, like almost like debilitating. And
Do
I'm
you
like,
get them up in the like here?
yep,
Because yep, that's where mine are. Oh my God, it
brutal.
hurts so bad. And like you can't stand up straight. And it's like, oh
Hurts to
God.
breathe sometimes. It's that bad. So,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
the most effective injection site for semaglutide? I personally think the belly is the easiest, and that's where I would start. And then you can experiment. Some people have different levels of appetite suppression and side effects by switching sites, and whether it's the back of the arm or the top of the thigh. Dr. Mo injected the back of the arm instead of the belly and ended up with diarrhea and no appetite control, which is super weird.
Once.
Yeah.
Once.
So I think it's worth experimenting, but if you did your
I
belly
love
the
that.
first time and it works well, I don't think there's a reason to mess with it.
Oh, Jackie said I'm tired all the time. Um,
I-
m-
This
check
happens
your
some
height.
people for some
Yeah.
people. They just get tired on these medications. We've had patients like almost like be falling. We had one patient, like he got up to max dose, he was on it for a long time, and then he was just tired all the time. We haven't talked to him in a long time.
I know. I wonder
Um,
how he's doing.
we
He's
tried
on
dropping the
TikTok, so if you happen to keep
dose.
watching us, send us a
I
message.
remember him dropping dose, and it did not help him very much with the sleepiness. And even like trying to like add some carbohydrates didn't work for him. And then yeah, he just kind of
But that
disappeared.
was also like brain fog. It was a little different. Like
Mhm.
that worried me for a neurologic disorder.
Yeah. So it could be nothing to do with these things.
Right. Now,
Just happens. He lost weight, and then these things started happening.
right. Now,
So,
usually the tiredness is a relative energy deficit. It's because you're so used to overeating. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about because that post with the guy who, whatever, the 6 month guy that said his care was great. Um, anyway, um, he was saying that his nutrition, or I'm sorry, it was a woman. My bad. I just assumed it was a guy because the way they spoke. How hilarious is that? Talk about stereotypical. Yeah. Oh, Wendy's here. Um, we are also on Zoom. Our patients have a link to even the public live so they can come in and chat with us. And I mean, you can chat too, on the TikTok and on the tube. But he was saying that, or she was saying that her nutritionist dropped her to 1300, which of course everyone lost their minds because you can't eat that low. I'm like, for God's sake. Now, I mean, people went back and forth. And, I love Courtney's terminology of what mathematical hard truth. There is a point where you need to get to. And they're like, when you go that low, you lose your hair. And if you're not focusing on protein and micronutrients, yes.
but if you don't drop that low, you're not going to lose weight. Like it's just
Correct.
you have to get in a calorie deficit. And we have lots of people say, I'm in a calorie deficit, and they're not losing weight. Well, you're not in a calorie deficit.
Period. End of story. And there
It's
might be a reason
it's
your
simple
your
physics.
BMR is lower.
Yeah.
BMR is basal metabolic rate. If we ever say anything, by the way, because Neil and I have been in this space for a long time, not talking GLP-1s, because that's kind of a new thing, right? But Neil and I have been talking nutrition for a really long time, really in depth. So if we start saying weirdo, like,
Harris Benedict formula.
yeah, if we bust out, if we bust out with Harris Benedict, be like, what? Okay.
Chance has been on tirzepatide, 15 milligrams, and it stopped working. Yeah, it might be time to look at all of the other things that you're doing. I think it's the stronger of the two drugs, so I don't know if I'd switch to semaglutide. It might be time to add something to kind of help to get things moving. I love adding metformin. We've had so much success adding it to people that are maxed out. And it's so dirt cheap. The side effects are very similar to which are like the tirzepatide already. So typically, once you've been on a GPL-1, most people do not have problems with metformin. I mean, it's like if I start someone in the ER who comes in and I diagnose them with type 2 diabetes for the first time, I'll say 75-80% of the people are not going to take that medicine. There's been like 2, 3 people who can't handle the metformin.
Well, I could not handle it, and it wasn't GI side effects for me. It was actually thought I was in like metabolic acidosis, which is a
Yeah.
known side effect of metformin. I could not walk up the stairs without stopping. I was so tired on metformin. But now that I've been on a GLP-1 for a year and then started metformin, I honestly think it's the way I use food and electrolytes because like my sweat ratios have changed. And no, I haven't measured it. I just had a lot of sweat salt on my shorts during a half Ironman. Um, and I was hyponatremic. That's another story. But I'm up to metformin twice a day. And I went up in maintenance on the GLP-1 on tirzepatide to 7.5. And I'm finally feeling like I'm finally feeling stable. I guess that's the best way to put it. That I can make the changes I need to make, no longer bullshit myself, you know, that kind of thing.
I don't know
I'm
how
way behind. Go ahead.
Are we are up here? Like Jackson's saying, basically, there's only 5,000 obesity specialists in America.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not very many.
right. So, you know what? I am not obesity medicine board certified. I get to schedule the exam for October. I think it's October, yeah. In July. Um, if I don't make it, I don't make it. Doesn't mean my knowledge changes a whole hell of a lot. Unfortunately, I was not prepared for the test format the first time, to be honest. I got there, I was like,
Gorman,
wow, I did not study correctly.
you were doing a lot of other stuff.
I was.
Like if you had passed it, I'd been very happy. But like I wasn't surprised. We had too much going on at that time,
Yeah.
and kind of that the whole time last year, like always.
Like one thing after the other.
Yeah. That carried into what, February? So
Yeah.
when it finally calmed down.
So now I'm like, okay. And it's funny because my kid's starting to study because he didn't do super well in math this year. And I wasn't able, again, I didn't have the bandwidth to help him. One week into helping him, stuff's starting to click. And I'm like, okay, let's LFG, man. Let's go. I don't say that to my 11-year-old, but sometimes I do. But
Probably good.
we don't say that in polite
Probably
circles.
good. Gorman's saying my nutritionist told me not to eat more than 94 grams of protein. So confusing.
Oh, this is what happened. This woman said today in this thing. And I said, well, if you're 90 pounds or so, I think that's great. Me being my snarky, passive
I
aggressive
can't tell. It
self.
looks like a male. So I'm assuming even then he's over 90 pounds. So typically, yes, based on the old dietary guidelines, it was 1 gram per kilogram of lean body mass. So like nothing. Like I think the USDA guidelines are like 45 for females and like 60 for men or something stupid like that. It's been a long time since I looked at them since I
Since
don't
we don't bother.
I'm not a dietitian anymore. So because I don't believe in that crap. Sorry if the dietitian's out there, but
Well, the
so
good news is the good ones also don't believe in it. So, because
yeah.
that's the thing, those numbers are to avoid sickness. It's not for optimal health. They're very different numbers. It's like the vitamin D ranges, right? Do you want to be at 50? No, you want to be at 80.
Well, that food guide pyramid was based on lobbyists.
Hmm.
Or like you know what I mean? Like that's why wheat and grains are so important. Wonder who lobbied that.
Kellogg's. Um,
Yeah, so it depends. Like Gorman, if there's like something wrong with your kidney function, that might be appropriate. But if you're otherwise normal kidney function, healthy otherwise guy with no medical problems that would necessitate you not having that much protein, typically
right.
for a guy, I usually advise around 150 grams. It's about a pound per lean pound of body mass. I mean, myself, I get it 200 every day. Used to be more. Like when I was competing, it was 300 to 400 a day.
Yeah, my low days now are 100, 80 to 100 are my low days now. And I'm shooting for 120, which is right at my weight. Speaking of which, I broke 120 again. I got 119.9 yesterday. I'm back above it today, which is fine. Um, because I'm short, by the way. Um, Jackie said 3 weeks in, I feel weak and dehydrated, lost 4 pounds. So you work on the hydration. Don't worry about food, right? So it's like a baby that is sick, right? You got to make sure they're hydrated. We can go without food for quite a while. Babies cannot. Do not take, number one, not medical advice. Number two, don't listen to that. But the whole thing is they got to get their fluids in because that's what'll kill real fast.
And
So got
honestly,
an ER question for you.
if I was really weak and dizzy and I was eating nothing and like dehydrated, I would switch right back to regular old Gatorade. Something with a little bit of sugar in it, give you a little bit of boost, might make you feel a little bit better. Now I went like drink a gallon of regular Gatorade, like one Gatorade, and see if that makes you feel any better, and then switch back to the sugar-free stuff since
Mhm.
the goal is weight loss.
Right. Agreed. Let's grab the ER question first because
Okay.
that'll be unpinned in a second. Um, hold on. I only have.
I just say it just says got an ER question. I don't see it.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Ask. Let's do this testosterone one. Neil, testosterone levels for women. My NP says 220 is where she is.
I think it's been a while since I've looked at women's stuff since I don't do women's HRT. I think I want to say it's like 60 to 40. Like it's not super high. Having said that, some people are under the beliefs that, and even myself, like testosterone is where you feel good at. So if you feel good at 100, that's your number. If you feel good higher, that's fine too. Even typically for gentlemen, usually have to stick within those guidelines a little bit closer, just due to risk. The guy I'm trained by actually, after you're kind of stable, like he'll check a level just so you have one, but he doesn't check levels anymore of testosterone for men or women. It's where you feel good. So some people feel good, with like for a male at 500, he feels fantastic. Other people, like I feel great at 900. So that's where try to aim for mine. And there's other people that like it a little higher, like 1200. For women, yeah, I mean, there is the potential for side effects when you have higher testosterone levels, um, which most of those can be managed. Let me look up test.
Let's see. Did my last jab, my first box on Monday. I was feeling weak, but started to walk each day. That will improve a lot of things. Number one, GI motility, aka the constipation. Number two, which we have not talked about poop yet today. Number two, it will improve your mood, your stress level, all the things, really, right? Doesn't now Neil is we talked about this weightlifting issue. And I say weightlifting, I really should call it strength training because in the beginning, so say you're 50 pounds overweight, shoot, use it. Do some toe raises, some calf raises, like use
Body
it. Do
weight
some
squats, body weight lunges, dips off a
wall
chair.
wall push-ups. I mean, you can do a whole
Yes.
workout at home. Like it doesn't matter. Let's just do something to something.
Even as you get lighter, a lot of those 7-minute workouts that just use body weight stuff are more than enough. Like if I did the 7-minute workout, I'm in decent shape. It would still kick my ass. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
I'm
know?
kind of a wuss, The full functional strength thing's not my forte. It's not me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So women's normal testosterone, like I thought, 50 to 70 or 15 to 70.
Oh.
But yeah, if you're okay and you feel great at the 200, I would listen to your doctor and let him do that. If same thing. If my wife was like, I feel better at 200, I'm like, let's do 200. That's what you feel good at.
Um, Went to the ER over the weekend, neck fuse, same pain as last, impingement. Hold on, I can't see the rest. Oh shoot. Uh, they did no imaging, sent home. Yeah, it's probably impingement. I mean, my guess, or to, I say that was not good. That was not a good answer. Strike that. So unless you had trauma, we probably wouldn't do imaging, because it's not a reason for an emergent MRI. And you guys can ask ER questions since we're not doing medical advice. We'll give you what I would do, like, because literally this is like, here's a board question for you,
Yeah.
because we're answering it off the cuff.
Yeah. If it was more recent surgery, I would be worried about like an infection or a dehiscence or something else weird. So I would get imaging at that point. But if it was no trauma, surgery 3, 4 years ago, and we're having symptoms like that, I would probably just treat the symptoms at the time, have you filed with your neurosurgeon. And then maybe an MRI later if some treatment, like some steroids, muscle relaxants, pain medicines didn't help.
Yep. Oh, that question makes me miss the ER a little bit. Just a little bit.
Had to think there, huh?
I know, right? Because this stuff is really fun. Okay, you know
Oh,
what? That stuff is fun for one patient too.
let me add this. So, because I've been doing like this, I guess, full time and the ER part time, it
Mhm.
took me like 6 months, but I miss the ER sometimes now. Like enjoy going again. Before it was just like, oh
That's
my God, I need to
amazing.
shift. And I enjoy like when I'm there, I'm like, it's a blast again.
That's my goal. Keep you on the
Yeah.
ground. The world needs Neil on the ground. Me, not so much.
I still like suturing and doing procedures, and it's fine.
Well, good, because I'm going to call you when I'm working. Oh my God, that one shift, I was like, where is Neil? I got all these stupid people to sew up. It was kind of funny. Somebody asked about an injection site reaction. Um, oh, good. Walking has greatly done everything I just mentioned. And that's fantastic. Get outside, breathe, just God. And the cool part for me was when I started losing weight in the beginning, I got to like take my new body out for a spin, It was like, all right, let's use this thing. Not in ways that everyone else in my house would enjoy. That's not quite there yet. Working on it. Um, but that's another
Oh,
story.
I'm gonna hit this one. I think Elspeth. It's hard to eat that much protein when you're not hungry. Yes, it is. So a lot of times patients need to supplement with a protein shake like Dr. Mo's Core Power, or honestly, whatever brand that you like the flavor of and that you will drink. I typically recommend starting the day with trying to get 30 grams for breakfast because in studies it shows that you actually eat about 300 to 400 calories less per day, which that's a half pound a week just by eating protein for breakfast. Um, it helps you stay fuller longer. At the end of the day, it's going to help you maintain your hair, maintain your muscle. So yes, it's hard and it's okay. Like let's
A
say
little less turkey neck wobble.
yeah, if you're at, let's say you're at 50 grams today, you're like, that's the best I could do. Okay, try to get a little higher tomorrow. You know, if in 2 weeks you're at 75, great, you made some progress. And it takes some time to learn how to eat protein. It just does, like to meal prep it,
Yeah.
get it down your stomach, and your body adapt to that. Because it's, yes, chewing up 11 ounces of chicken a day is not fun.
No, not gonna happen. Yeah, somebody said Jackson said Flonase can help with the injection site reactions, which is pretty cool because it's an antibody, it's an allergy, it's an antibody. It doesn't decrease effectiveness. Just make sure if you have throat swelling, hives, that sort of thing, that's an ER visit, right? That's not a, you know.
Let's know about the Flonase though.
But yeah, I'm like, ooh, tuck that back in the Rolodex. Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I know it's frustrating when you have pain and we cannot completely take care of that pain. Um, it's extremely frustrating, and like lately my right-sided pain's been a little wonky, whatever. And it's not because of my food now. Like it's not, and it just is. So sometimes it's time and sometimes we have flares and sometimes they're neuromuscular flares that don't have to do with structures. So the ER can't help that because right, the ER is going to help you with shit that's going to kill you today.
That's it. I'm going to add that. Like, so the ER basically is there to make sure you're not dying. Like true medical emergency. Like we look for stuff all the time. That's why we're doing all our testing. And a lot of times we can't find anything. Doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong. It just means that someone else needs to do more testing because we're really limited on the amount of tests that we can order. I can't check your cholesterol level. I can't do all these things. They just don't let me.
Yeah. And you don't want to pay for it there either. It's three times
No,
the
you
cost.
don't. No, I'm way too expensive to figure out what your what that level is.
What your A1C is.
I
Not the
don't.
place. Um, so talk about how to properly vet where you're getting your compound meds. I actually talked about this morning, in our private coaching video. Meds and so yeah, let's go revisit Bob. Bob gets the shaft with us totally
It
because
does.
Bob is a catch-all term for peptide companies where people go to get a peptide, a compound, a chemical compound without a prescription or medical guidance. Number one, that's a hard no. These are prescription medications that need to be managed. Even if it's research grade, it needs to be, it's the same thing you're injecting into your body. Um, or anything you're taking a medicine, you are taking a chemical to change something in your body. It needs to be guided by people who you resonate with emotionally, like you can talk to, knowledgeable. Fine, board certifications are fantastic. Obviously if I didn't think they were, I wouldn't be going for them. um but again, not all obesity specialists are created the same. Some don't work with GLP-1s, some are only whatever. It's like the what do you call the doctor who graduated last from Harvard? Doctor.
Doctor.
Um, but he could be a better doctor than the guy who graduated first, right? So you really don't know. I went to Medical College of Ohio in Toledo, which is now Toledo College of Medicine, in case you're wondering, not Harvard. Just saying. Real far from Harvard. I went back at 28 years old as well. Just got off the phone with a coworker using compound. She was started on 5 and moved to 7.5 the third week. Well, I'm glad it went well because that is not something that we would do.
No.
Not to mention, if you don't need 5, why go? Like, what if you
Right?
can? What if you're like me and you could stay on 2.5 for 3.5 months and save a whole boatload of cash? I mean, at the time it was the Manjaro 25 million for $25 for the pens, but we don't. Okay, that's an interesting thing. Somebody had asked about the pharmacies, and thanks Jackson for grabbing that one. We work with 5 or 6 pharmacies. We add here and there, just because we like to get all of our states taken care of. Oh, the issue is it didn't go well. Well, that's worse. So we don't try to upsell you. We don't have any other services, really. We just have medical care. And if you are our patient, your urgent care costs are covered with us. If we can handle it by urgent care, we don't charge you for that. We don't upcharge you. We don't sell you. Now, we do have processing fees. That's not like we don't, but we're not going to upsell you into like a different thing. We don't have a different thing. We just have a medical practice. So, um, we would like to keep you on the lowest, cheapest for you compound medication. That's why, like, we're not going to say, oh, we want you to go to this expensive pharmacy. We don't give a shit. Go to the one that you
Mm.
like it the best. Some people don't like other ones. They're like, this one doesn't work at all. This one works. And it's funny because some patients are exactly the opposite. Whatever, don't care. So I told her to run and run fast. Yeah, good call. Pamela, I was up to 5 tirzepatide, no results, but had fantastic results with the pre-done from the pharmacy. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by pre-done?
It might be a autocorrect.
It could be. It could be. Um, any help
Any
with
help
hair
with hair?
loss? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, getting 100 protein and all calories in. A lot of times we recommend people taking biotin in addition to help with hair loss. We have some patients doing injectable biotin. Otherwise,
And
there's just
collagen.
oral
Don't forget
biotin
the collagen.
and collagen. Yeah, so a lot of times, like you put collagen in your coffee every day. Biotin, typically 10,000 micrograms per day, will help with that. It's just some people lose more hair than others, and it's just a product of weight loss, whether you're using these medications or not. Best thing to do is to make sure you're taking your multivitamin addition and try to get all your micronutrients in.
Um, Hold on. I was trying to
Ooh,
pin a comment. I can't do it.
will moving up guarantee weight loss?
Good question.
There might be something about it, but not necessarily. Um, some people do need to get up a couple of doses before they see any weight loss. We've had some patients get to the max, very few, like one or two, max dose, and it took them several months to really start losing weight. It was just they needed that much metabolic repair before they were kind of letting stuff go. Very few and far in between. Most patients do start losing as they start to taper up. The weight loss gets more and more.
Okay, so Pamela's question, she clarified. So she was on Zepbound Manjaro,
Okay.
whichever. Eli Lilly, brand name, 5 milligrams, no results at all. No, no, wait, switch that. 5 of compounded, but had results on brand name. Do I quit? No. So my answer is you can do a couple of different things. It may have been time for you to move up anyway in the dosing. So once you hit, whatever, like I said, I've been on maintenance for over a year and I am finally now somewhat sane on 7.5. Um, because again, and Neil knows this is all my brain. So it could have been time to move up. Some people do have better results with a different pharmacy. So whichever one you're going with, consider switching it up. Some of them are within like $5 or $10. So consider switching it up, see how it goes. More than anything, do not quit, right? So, and I'm in maintenance. Well, I say maintenance, but I gained 8 pounds over the holidays, as Neil saw when Neil said, we had a little roller coaster for a minute. I'm strapped in. But and I didn't even put it together. It's so funny. I did not put that together at all. I'm like, I don't know why my stress is so high. You're a dumbass, but whatever, it's fine. Oh shoot, I'm gonna get flagged on TikTok for that. And I called myself out. Well, hopefully it didn't yell at me. Um, anyway, so but sometimes you have to go up and you don't have to stay there. I don't anticipate myself staying at 7.5 for a long time, but now that I'm chilling, and things are calmed down and I've got some behavior things going, I'll probably go back down to 5. So I would not quit though, please. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Minoxidil and biotin, Jackson. Neil does too. It doesn't help. Just kidding.
Now how to do minoxidil, I don't care.
Why am I so ill on Wegovy when I stepped up to 0.5? It seems like such a low dose. That's a hell of a question. Grab that one, Neil. Do you see
Let me
it?
see. I'm looking. Sorry. So
That
when I stepped up to 2.5, that seems like such a low dose. Yeah, some people, the 0.25 is more than enough. I lost 35 pounds on 0.25 and zero point 0.5. I didn't need anything higher. It just, some people are super sensitive to the medication. Some people don't feel anything until they get to one. I want to say Courtney switched meds, or one nurse practitioner from like a tirzepatide product to Wegovy because it's covered. And yeah, when she got to one, it was way too much for her. Like 0.5, like she didn't really feel much at the lower doses, and then you just move up and you're like, wow. So it's one of those that you could do a couple of things, either go back down on your dose, if you had some effect with it, like if you were kind of told you had to go up, maybe go back down or space that out a little bit, or just really watch what you're eating and when you're eating it. Like it might be just time for like super small meals, like a few
Okay.
bites every couple hours, until this kind of subsides.
So Pamela, yes, I knew you were with us. So, um, we would be happy to have you back. You just ask. Literally, so text us and say, "Hey, listen, I want to come back." Well, don't text it. Well, you can text, I guess. I didn't think about that. You can either text the group if you have it, or go to the website. The better way to do it, the correct way to do it. Let me not tell you how to backdoor things. Let me tell you the right way. The right way, go to the website, click through the intake forms because we need those consent forms again anyway every time you come back. Just run through the medical history and just I keep trying to tell you shortcuts. We're not going to do that. Hold on. I gotta tell TikTok I'm still here. Not gonna tell you shortcuts. Go to the thing, hit be a patient, go through, and then they'll text you to restart. And when you restart, say, even if you don't remember the pharmacy, say, I want to try a different pharmacy. Can we have the prices? Because we've also got Link Pharmacy, which is new since you've been there. I don't remember. Neil, are you on the site? Does Link go to Arizona?
I'll look right now.
Okay.
They do. They ship to
Okay.
Arizona.
Yeah,
So
Link
link
goes to
them to
Arizona. Okay, because and they're I think the least expensive that we've got right now.
Yep.
Um,
Empower does, Axtel does, Link goes there, Drug Crafters goes there, South Lake, Compounding of America, and not Cypress.
Yeah, no, definitely not Cypress. They're only
Everybody.
Texas and Utah for right now. So, oh, and tears. Oh, don't, well, be maybe good tears. Good tears are good, but come back and see us. Yeah, no, I've been um real happy. So somebody said go to Amble. I have heard good things about Amble. Hold on, I've heard good things about Amble. If you're not in our states, though, Pomegranate's also good. Jackson's on here if you got any questions. Yeah, so that's the difference, right? So people are always asking, what compound pharmacy do I go through? You don't make that choice. Well, you do make that choice. Like you talk to your provider, you discuss things. They say, hey, here's who we have. Here's what you can do. What do you think? What do you want to do? This is what a good relationship is between a provider and a client and or patient. Although, not medical advice. So there's different, this is what when I first started, I started explaining to people because people are like, my push, not they wouldn't even say my push doctor. Push health medical care sucks. Dude, push health is a big doctor's office with a bunch of doctors in it that they throw you into one waiting room and your doctor picks you up.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's what it is. It's an IT platform. It is not it's not a same with ZocDoc, same thing. So we are a lifestyle medicine telehealth practice, as in Pomegranate, a little different model, right? Our model, we're just different. That's all. And they cover 50 states and Puerto Rico. And was it Puerto Rico and Guam? Anyway,
Um,
yep, there we go. See, I am listening. I'm paying attention. Um, so we have what, 11 states or so far. I say so far. We're not, there's plenty of people in those states. That's not how we're really expanding. We're trying to find our people. And I always say nobody finds us by accident, for sure. I have a work meeting now. Going to go to the website. So make sure if you're a patient, you come back on Wednesday for our things, our patient group stuff. And if not, get into school and watch the replays because as our patient, you get all of the old calls and the replays for the old public lives too are also on YouTube. So go to watchdrmo.com. What
let's see.
states? You ready?
Oof, let's do it.
I'm gonna go in order of like chronology here. New York, Ohio, Florida, shoot, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, Texas. Those are the states I lived in. Indiana, Arizona, Alabama, Wisconsin, Louisiana, Virginia, Tennessee,
You got them.
Miami,
Miami.
Ohio, and Florida.
Yeah. Either Miami.
Either Miami's fine. Neil said Miami once and he's never going to live it down.
I don't care. I
No,
can
because
take a
it's
joke.
hilarious. No,
I can
Neil
take
is
a
the
joke.
one. I was gonna say Neil is the one that we can that we can literally. Everyone's got a nickname. It's I can't even. GI calls, we know what happens.
I don't know what happens.
You do. They're going to the operating room.
Oh, are they?
Repetition is the master of memorization. Ay,
Rushing
ay, ay.
that from every time. Every time I'm there, or like they call, he tries to throw it out there. Tracy Bott. I was told 12 pounds on 2.5 was good, but worried I'm not losing anymore. So she wrote 12.5 and then wrote 2.5. So I'm assuming it's 2.5. If you're not losing anymore, you don't have appetite control, is probably time to increase that dose.
Mhm.
Some people don't lose anything on 2.5 or 5. Some people don't feel anything until they get 7.5. So we're just not at your best dose yet.
It's me, Catherine is here. So I have to say hi.
Shell,
Shell said so if I'm in, yeah, if I'm in Tennessee,
come
go
see
to
us.
AMS Telehealth. AMS stands for Active Medical Solutions. AMStelehealth.com. Click be a patient. We got you. Easy peasy. So Jackson had a really right. Oh my God, we're totally changing. We got to change this, Neil.
Uh-oh.
Jackson nailed it. Safe access matters and not getting Groupon peptides. We're calling them Groupon
Groupon
peptides from
peptide.
now on because I feel
Bob's
bad
watching
about
out.
Bob, right? I feel bad. I have an uncle Bob, by the way, who's probably watching this. I don't know. He's probably not because he thinks these are whatever. We're not gonna get that. We're not gonna throw my family under the bus.
Ooh.
No, but what did you say up here, Jackson? Because it mattered. So many telehealths, but 44% of the population is overweight and obese, and not all can provide care. I agree 100%. If everybody showed up at every, I'll even go stellar practice telehealth, right? You got Join Mochi. Henry Meds is now out of my list. Um, but you got pomegranate, you got Join Mochi, you've got Weight Watchers slash Sequence. If everybody that needed the care, because some of us aren't obese, right, showed up, we wouldn't be able to handle it. So find the provider that resonates with you and go get care, right? We always tell people, also, so we tell people to hit up Nikki Baldwin, who is at hamiltontelehealth.com, and Maribel, who is Campos is her last name. She does have a last name. But Maribel, who is at maribeltelehealth.com, she's in California, but she's my big California provider. So Join Fridays. Yep, Join Fridays. Ivem, I've heard good things about. I don't, but some of these, like somebody say, oh, Ambul's good. But again, I don't know for sure. Like, I don't like, speaking of which, I tried to get Red Rock Pharmacy again and they just ghost me. So they don't care. They will because Mochi won't be using them anymore. So they maybe they'll reach out.
Ooh. FMMC88. Can you recommend a protein shake that doesn't spike glucose? Avoid whey protein shakes. So you're gonna have to go with a different type of protein, like a pea protein or like a meat-based protein. Because whey protein for some people will cause a huge insulin spike, and then you get hypoglycemic. That's me. If I just drink a plain old whey protein shake with nothing else, I will probably get hypoglycemic.
Oh, is that why sometimes I feel like crap?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then like I have to eat a couple apple slices with it.
Yep.
Okay.
So if I eat mine, I try to add a little bit of fat, like even if it's like a couple almonds, like 2, 3 almonds, anything. But not as I try not to do a plain shake, and that's all.
Yeah. So low ferritin, so you can come off of iron. Well, yeah, you could leafy greens with a vitamin C, like orange juice or whatever, increases your absorption. Um, if it's low, you have to find out why and then correct the why. Is it true like iron deficiency anemia? Is it, like it's the where it's coming from, right? If you're bleeding heavy every month, well, that ain't gonna fix like nothing's just you gotta fill the tank. So yeah. But yeah, with the reactive hypoglycemia, so think about that, even the name of that term, reactive hypoglycemia, you want to avoid spikes, right? And exactly the same as your providers probably already told you, you want to have some protein, have some fat with your carbohydrates so you maintain a nice little, you don't do the ups and downs. But again, that's not an excuse to overeat and, you know, eat all the
No, I
food.
have that, and it did not make mine episodes any worse. They happen
Yeah.
just as infrequently.
Yeah. Well, and and the GLP-1s don't do that. It's not how they work. Yeah, but it can actually help because, well, because you're able to control your eating. So you're actually able to make better decisions. Hey, I need like a GLP-1 for life, so I'm able to make better decisions. Can we do that? Just kidding. Not really. I'm kind of kidding. I'm doing okay right now, but wasn't always. Wasn't always. Right. If I could just do a once a week shot. Well, so funny thing, right? Because these drugs are being studied in addiction. And I've said this before. Imagine if, right, you got a heroin addict on the street that instead of giving methadone every day, you could actually give a once a week shot. And it's not a cure all, it's not a magic bullet, but it's a stimulus response lengthener. So they actually can have the ability to not just follow that craving all the time. That's a straight up lifesaver. And we know that. We know how many people die with a needle in their arm. I'd rather die with a needle in my ass. Just kidding.
Oh,
Um, Actually in my abdomen because I don't go anywhere else. Vivani Medical is working on implanted GLP-1. Wow, would last a year. See, is it dial in dose though? That's the key, right? So even the one that's coming out monthly, that's what scares me because it's like, oh God, what if you get side effects? Like I got the depot shot a million years ago. And the birth control side effects last 3 months, or the birth control effects last 3 months. My side effects lasted 6 months, which was profound depression and apathy. I felt awful, and it was 6 months. So that's it. That's the the flip side, right? Um, would magnesium living loving Florida? Yep, me too. Would magnesium calm supplements stay in the system longer when using a GLP-1? We have not seen that. I don't know. I can't say from a study standpoint, because I don't have a, double blind study but um, we've had people with very narrow therapeutic index drugs that have not been affected by this drug. Now, it decreases the effectiveness of birth control pills. So,
yeah, I haven't really seen it too much with like antidepressants, like they say, or blood pressure medications, like they say that's possible. It's the only one has been blood or birth control because eating like lithium, super
no,
stable, which is a
which
very hard drug to maintain.
right, which is amazing. So I wonder if it changes then. I wonder if the GLP-1 actually helps them absorb it better so it's not so volatile. Like, who knew? Oh
Right?
God, could you imagine that? So I don't live in Florida full time. I'm actually in Texas. I grew up going to the Gulf Coast of Florida my whole life. My grandparents lived there forever. I have a condo in Fort Myers Beach. So definitely Gulf Coast kind of gal. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you're watching YouTube. Kim saying any particular type of protein you would recommend.
Whatever you like and can tolerate.
That's
Because
it.
again, we had someone the other day on our patient meeting that could not do the Core Power 42s. I was kind of sad. By the way, nobody sponsors me. I have no vested interest. I got nothing. Like, we just like what we like, and that's kind of it. So find one you can tolerate. They're expensive. That's the tough part, right? The pre-made meals are expensive, but that's all. I had collagen. I take SR collagen, 2 scoops to ruin my first cup of coffee. And then I take athletic greens in the morning. I take my supplements, including creatine and magnesium in the morning. And then my first meal of the day, I've started to do just a Core Power 42. When those are out because they're expensive, I'm just going to do my premieres. Anything but cottage cheese. Hey, I've actually started again eating cottage cheese just to gross Neil out. It's the only reason.
So bad. That's
Uh, is it possible to slot that? Okay, let me try to actually speak this because that was no words actually in the English language that came out. Is it possible thyroid went low because of Manjaro? Your thyroid will change with weight loss. So you may have to get your thyroid checked again throughout this journey. So yeah. So yeah, check your numbers. Living, loving Florida. Check, just track. Just track for a couple days, see what you're getting. Um, all right, Linda. See you next week. Thanks for coming. Linda's one of my OGs.
And living life,
Linda was
living
before Neil.
right. Well,
Well, not
for
now.
GLP-1 stuff.
For
Yeah.
GLP-1 stuff, not like seriously. We really. Oh, hi Becca. No, good to see you. Thank you. Oh, thanks for loving being our patient. Hey, tap that screen because I like the little hearts. And I don't know, whoever made that good morning or good afternoon show up, that was awesome. Sometimes I get a hat. Those are kind of fun. Okay, let's see. Yeah, empower compounds with B3. Yeah, I know. I don't. Now I do like Empower for a couple of reasons. One of the largest, they ship to the states that we can't get other pharmacies to ship to.
Yeah.
So
But a PSA, all the pharmacies in Texas are a little slower because we had some crazy storms pump through and they lost power and other things. So Empower did slow down a little bit. And I think Link slowed down a little bit too because it went through where they were as well.
yeah.
So
Um, I have to listen to this video real quick. You're laughing. My our new marketer is like, you really need to stop saying, I need to edit your
My
videos.
mom just called me and she's getting discharged from Henry Ford right now. I gotta head to Detroit right now. Okay. It's okay.
There we go. Got her. Katrina must be at work. I'm gonna go with that. ProMed slowed down as well. Yeah. Thoughts on compounds. So our thoughts are, because Neil and I were just talking about this the other day. Because there was an article that this MD, again, we were talking about this, not every doctor is created equal, and not in knowledge necessarily, and not in willingness to be a good doctor. We just all have different opinions, right? We know what we say about opinions. That there was an article where the doctor was poo-pooing, you can't take compounded, it's not FDA regulated, blah, 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 blah. So what do? Is you tell your person to go back to their disease because they have an option that will be effective, but it doesn't go through the proper channels. Well, the proper channels are unable to supply this. So I'm going to take, like, if I could get Zepbound for 250 a month, or well, I'm up to 7.5 now, so it's a little bit more, but um I'd take it. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I would love to have a brand name version, but I don't. And I have been on compounded in 5 months now because I think I've been through our fifth pharmacy because I take the medicines that, which I'm making a mental note because we had another package show up at the office instead of probably a patient's house. So if you're our patient, we can't control where the pharmacy messes up. Trust me. I have a lawyer for that now. Anyway, sorry. Okay, that was me just complaining a little bit. Ooh, nice on that, Broderick. You are rocking it.
it's awesome.
God, love it. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah, safe access from 503 or 503B pharmacies are great. So, interestingly, yes, no, and that's so you get your semaglutide from there through a provider, I would assume. And if you're in Florida, feel free to come see us because I like to get all my Florida people close to me. I do. I can't help it. I like the Florida people. But you can always come here. No one can get Zepbound. So that's the thing, right? So if I could get Zepbound, if I could go to the store, I've had that prescription from Neil for Zepbound for, I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. It's probably 6 months old. Well, no, because it was November when it's probably 6 months old. Because we tried to get it and couldn't, and like literally right from the get-go, we could not get it, and then they wouldn't use whatever. And I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna go compounded because,
Stress is one of our pillars. Just
right?
knock that stress out.
It's just one more thing. Do you recommend the skinny shots with Manjaro? We would rather optimize. Now, that's a yes and no question, right? Because some people love it. Some people love the way it makes them feel. We would rather optimize the GLP-1 and the habits first. Habits are pillars. We call them pillars, right? Pillars hold up the table. Nobody needs a lopsided table. well, it's like hypertension meds, right? So you look at the GNC guidelines, and I get that it's big medicine, I get it. But you would rather max out one drug than do a whole hodgepodge. So,
But if you've done them in the past and you like them, they make you energized. I don't see a problem with it. Some people get them and they're like they didn't do anything. Other people like can't live without them. They feel so energized and feel great.
and first do no harm. So if it's not going to hurt you,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah. Do I prefer semaglutide or tirzepatide? I am team tirzepatide all the way because it saved my life.
In the studies, it's a better drug.
Yeah.
If you crave stuff, it's a better drug. If you have to go the compounder right and you can't afford it, semaglutide is the better drug, the one that you can afford. At
True
least get you
that.
on that path.
And Courtney's had fantastic results.
We've had lots of people with amazing, her husband, amazing results with Wegovy.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I saw
Way
a picture
more.
of him on social media, and
Yeah,
because I haven't really seen him, but yeah, it was unreal. Oh, you
way
live in
more
Flagler
than the
Beach.
16% that the study showed.
Yes, living, loving Florida, lives in Flagler Beach. Yeah, I had to pay for the prescription. So, whenever you always have to pay for the prescription, right? You either pay the compound pharmacy. I'm pointing to me. I shouldn't be doing that. We collect money on behalf of the compound pharmacy because we get a better rate when they ship to patient, bill to clinic. So we take that on and pass that on to our patients.
Well, I think some of that confusion is with some of the companies, like you just pay them a set fee and they ship you the meds, the visits included. Like,
And it's why we don't bundle. There's a couple of reasons why we don't bundle, but that's the biggest reason why we don't bundle. I don't want to confuse people. I'm not a pharmacy. Mm-mm, not that good at it. Yes. Well, if you do want to come see us, you know where to. So living, loving Florida, where does your pharmacy, which pharmacy does your doctor use? Just curious. You can't go directly to a compound pharmacy. NYC girl, come to us. We're in New York.
Yep.
Anyhow, but these are prescription drugs and they should be managed as such. It's not a joke. Really, it isn't. Um, thinking of doing, so Destiny. Yes. So here's the deal. So Destiny said, I should do this for the YouTube viewers later. I was thinking of doing compound tirzepatide to see if it helps with leaky gut. So yeah, I have had such a huge difference in quite a few patients, and this is not just anecdotal. We've got more than a handful of patients who have non-specific colitis, that's what we call leaky gut essentially, that your nutrients aren't used appropriately. We have bad microbiomes, all the other things, right? In order to make a difference with your microbiome, you've got to change what you eat. You've got to change your stress. You got to change your sleep. You got to do the pillars. Funny that. Um, but we have stellar results with colitis issues with these medications, even on a low dose. One of my friends, in patients, she was one of my triathlon athletes for years, literally a decade. We tried to get her able to do races and not run around porta potties. Couldn't do it for 10 years, right? And I know what I'm talking about. Like, really, I've done this for a long ass time. Could not do it. Couldn't do it. This medication, she takes 1.25 milligrams every 10 days now, 9 to 10 days, give or take. And her symptoms are gone. It's unreal. Unreal. Yes, we are in New York.
absolutely. Come see us, amstelehealth.com. I threw it in the comments there for you.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yes, I grew up in Buffalo. I know it's the other side. I get that. But I went to St. Bonaventure and like half my school was like half of them were the East Coasters, which showed them a nice little warm spot in my heart. Well, actually probably a third because a third were like the freaking Canadians. So because we were pretty far north. But yeah, I grew up in Buffalo, south of Buffalo. Yep.
Over on YouTube, Eunice, my GLP-1 doc is retiring in 1 week. Does she have to send you the data for my file to continue treatment and use your service or not? I've been on GLP-1 since January.
No.
No, I mean, if you have stuff, we'll happily take it and throw it in your file so we have it and kind of can trend and track things. Like more information is always better,
Right.
but not necessarily. We just need to know kind of your dose. So sometimes, your doc will be like, oh, you're on 30 units. That doesn't help us at all because the concentrations can be so different.
Well,
And
and if you do give us that and you don't know your dose, because we've had it
yeah,
happen, we will just start you low and escalate quickly.
so biggest thing is we just need to know your dose.
Or escalate as quickly as we need to, because sometimes
Yeah.
we don't need to. Stress, how do I manage that? Yeah, give me a moment. I don't know. drugs. No, just kidding.
Do you see virtually? Yeah, everything's done by what we call asynchronous telemedicine. So most of our care is done through just texting. Um,
And things like this. We do a ton of group
yeah.
stuff.
We do group stuff, and then we have you do a video visit, well, just once a year, and it can be like right when you start, like you start, and we can talk about medicines. It could be after you've been on the medicine for a couple weeks, and we can talk about issues. Then it could be like 2 months in, and we can kind of make decisions at that point with you, with your treatment and your care. It kind of depends on you.
Yeah. If you didn't see our state on on our website, it's not there. We usually send people to Nikki Baldwin at Hamilton Telehealth or Maribel Campos at Maribel, Maribel Telehealth. Maribel works in California. So we do not own a compounding pharmacy. We just use them. Same as we use HEB, which is a pharmacy in Texas. So yeah, definitely no Oklahoma. That would be Nikki. It's hamiltontelehealth.com. She can take care of you. I just finally met her in person yesterday. I'm so excited. Yeah, we talk almost every day.
Or pomegranate.
Or pomegranate. Don't forget Jackson. I don't know. Jackson left me.
Yeah, I didn't see him for a bit, but it's okay.
It's all right. Super helpful. I'm gonna go with it. And that's the thing. It's rising tide lifts all boats. Because again, we are not in Mississippi currently. That is one of the M states we do not have. Hamilton Telehealth, all one word. Yeah, we are not in Mississippi. Nikki is as well on Hamilton Telehealth. So, oh yeah, I would love to. This is the second time in 2 weeks, Neil, I've been asked this. Is there a video with your story? Oh,
You should just do one.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Jackson gets around, man. He does. He does. And I appreciate that, right? Because he's gonna get patients from here, and I trust that I can send people to them. I don't want to send people to some shill. Thank you, Paul. See, you remember the haters. So my story is I have been a binge eater since I was approximately 6 years old. It's the first time, well, probably before that, but that's really what I remember as using food as a drug. And I've been up and down. I did have a period when I was about 38 of about 2 to 3 years of good weight loss. And when I say good weight loss, I don't mean the number. You know me. If you know me, you know me. I mean that brain piece where you didn't. It's called food neutrality, where you didn't have to. You didn't live a life run by food. And I've worked at it. I've done an Ironman at 153. I've done an Ironman at 121, and I can tell you which one I like better. It's like my husband says, I've been rich and I've been poor. I'll know which one I pick. So I was at the end of my rope. I tried Ironman Texas in April of 2022 at about 155 pounds. And as is my usual, I rebounded after my race. I was up to 167 pounds and I'm like, I can't stop eating. I don't know what to do. I've lost this is me going to Overeaters Anonymous. I've been in OA off and on since 2004. So 20 years now, lots more out than in, but since February of 2022, I was in, right? So this is 6 months into, I'm going every week, 3 meetings a week. I'm doing my things. I did 90 and 90 to start, all the things, and I can't stop eating. I can't surrender. I can't do it. So I went to my doctor and I said, I need help. And he said, eat less, move more, and find God. It's the short version. And so Courtney, who works with us at AMS Telehealth, her husband was on Wegovy and she said, well, I'm trying this thing, Manjaro, there's a coupon. And I'm like, I'm in. Like, I don't care. I can't, I'm crying uncle. I can't do it anymore. It's killing my brain. And when I say killing my brain, it's not a good thing, right? Like I was not in a good place because I was hopeless. And you know what happens when you get hopeless? And it wasn't hopeless because I was fat. It was hopeless because I lived a life run by food. I couldn't freaking think about anything else or everything that comes with that. So, and I was a shit parent, I was a shit wife, shit friend, all of it. Shit doctor, all of it. And so Courtney's like, well, I can get you in with my nurse practitioner. 3 fucking weeks. Oh, God, here we go. 3 weeks. It's a long time. At least I made an hour and a half. So 3 weeks later, she can get me with the NP. I'm like, I don't want this. So I get online, I get on Sequence, and they're like, you're not fat enough. Here's some supplements. I'm like, this isn't about me being fat enough. My BMI is 29. I have high cholesterol. I'm dying here. But mentally, I didn't care about the numbers. I'm dying. So Courtney gave me a Manjaro shot. I got the prescription, wasn't going to be filled till Monday. Courtney traded me one out, and I tried it. Literally 6 hours later, I was like, it's quiet in here. My brain was calm for the first time, that honest to God, that I could remember. The weight loss came second. So it was, for me, I was the lucky one that I was thrown a life raft and I got on it. And yeah. And so that's why I will fight to the death for my patients. To anyone that says compounded is not useful, like, listen, if it's sterile and it's not going to hurt you, I got to save these people's lives, and that's it. So, do I go to OA still? Yep. I have 2 meetings a week. I also added Al-Anon back in, because that's my primary addiction, right? Is rescuing people. Funny that literally I just told you the whole damn story, and I'm like, yeah. So but now I channel it into my job, right? It's
I'm gonna add this since we got called chills. So I never thought I would leave the emergency room ever in my life. I was dying in that thing. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm ever gonna retire because I can't leave this ER.
Mhm.
Like this is what I was born to do. And then this kind of came about. Like initially, like I started writing for Mo, for some other people. All the nurses, a lot of the nurses wanted to try with the coupon. So I got on Push and started doing that. And then it just started growing. And then once you start seeing people's results and you're helping people, like there was no stopping. And now I work part-time in the ER and I do this full time.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, I was gonna die in Trauma Bay 3 running a trauma at 85 years old having a heart attack.
I still love the ER, but like, you see people on their worst day typically ever, and you don't, like, I get to see people on great days. Like they get to check in with me in the month and tell me how great their month was. Or they got to do something, like they got to go on a water slide for the first time with their grandkids.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing
One of our
that feels like
patients
good.
posted like the before and after sitting. It was a Disney picture, where they snap the photos on the ride, and she could sit in the ride. Like, this is a big damn deal. It is not, this isn't about the number. It's and it's not like saving a life with a trauma, with a leg that's wide open, you know. And not to mention our company with my people. It's where I belong. It's where you belong. Captain, still? Yeah. Yeah. Top Gun fans. It is what it is. Um, but it's where I belong. And it's my husband jokes, you're a 25-year overnight success. And I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna get real mushy and I'm gonna make Neil cry again. But Neil and I have been doing this shit for a decade in the ER, and he had my back when there's traumas coming in up front. I'm like, dude, watch this department because I don't know what to do. I can't help it. Like, I don't know what to, like, I gotta do this. I don't know. I have 2 hands. I don't know what else to do. And I'm not a high producer in the ER. So I couldn't blow through patients. I just don't do that. I do this. I do this. And Neil always has my back. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, Thanks for being here and talking about your experience. It made me tear up because that was me. Yeah. That's well, even when Neil's on semaglutide, you could lose weight. Like Neil doesn't have well, you got a little bit of the brain stuff, but not like crazy brain tornado up here has. But you could even
But
see the benefit of chill.
I couldn't get my cholesterol won't come down. My A1C was like 5.5. Like it's not super high, but it needed to be better. Metformin didn't do anything for 2 years. And I did not want to start a statin. Diet modification didn't change things. I, kind of got rid of red meat and nope, didn't help. Semaglutide sure did in about 5 months. It didn't
Unreal.
fix my HDL, but all the other stuff looks great. So
Yeah. And trauma life is the best life. Not gonna lie. I miss the people. I miss that part. Um, But that's also what I do with healthcare providers is I help them work through that. It took me a year. Between the weight loss and the work stress, I got shingles, I lost half my hair. I mean, it was It wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty. Hard. Hard. It's real hard to change. There are people who quit GLP-1s that they quit because they can't enjoy food anymore. I'm like, yeah, you can't use food as a drug anymore. You got to kind of show up in your own life, and that's hard. That's real hard. Yeah. The loss of identity, the change of identity. It's not loss. You never lose your identity. You're always you. But that loss of emergency medicine identity, Brett Tracy, I'm gonna call him out because he's amazing. Um, said to me one day, he looked at me and he said, "You are emergency medicine, but you are not only emergency medicine." And that meant so much to me because it's been so hard. It's been hard. My husband sends me an EKG from work and shit, and like, it's I don't know, it's hard. It's me, Catherine. My husband is on Wegovy, lost 43 pounds, now weighs 190. Cholesterol is normal, and so is blood pressure. Just got off all of his meds. Yeah, you can't eat less, move more, find God doesn't always do that.
So I'm saying, like, that's like me, like 6 months. I could have come off, I wasn't on blood pressure medicine, but I probably could have been, didn't I would have come off those. I would have come off my statin, and I would have come off like metformin for once a week shot instead of taking pills every day.
Yeah, my blood pressure was creeping. And now I go to the dentist and they're like, it's 95 over 61. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I promise it's okay. Don't freak out. Can you please just clean my teeth? Oh, Tracy, you're welcome. You're welcome. Interestingly, at 340, I wasn't pre-diabetic. At 255, I was. And that's the thing. That's the progression of disease. That's what because it's time, right? It's time in metabolic hell, frankly, right? You don't know. And my blood work was pretty much normal, except for the cholesterol, which is still high, lower, but high. My LDL is still like 170, I think. Um, which peeves me just a little. Maybe it's 150 and it was 170 somewhere. I don't know. It's around somewhere. I'm like, hold on, I have it. It's on my desktop. I can probably tell you for real. 153. It was 170 before for my LDL. It's now 153. So it's getting there. And how long is that going to take? I don't know. But like I said, I was up 8 pounds too. 8 pounds, super stressed. Couldn't stop eating crap. Right? Same thing, right? And I'm on the drug. So this is my fourth week at 7.5. All the ice cream is out of my house. I told my husband, I don't care if we go out for ice cream every day. Don't care. It's out of the house. And I appreciate that from him because both my kid and my husband like ice cream, but is it good for them either? Like every day? No, let's go out and have it, have an experience, enjoy the social part of it. It never trips my switch when I'm out. I'll eat a little thing of ice cream. And there's a place by my house that has gooey butter cake ice cream, which is like the Ample Hills that used to be at Disney. Just saying. I can eat, I know. I should, yeah, whatever. But I can eat a little thing of it and I'm totally satisfied because that's not what it's about there. If I'm home and eating it, it's because I'm eating it as a drug.
Can you ride your bike there?
We can. It's close.
Okay, I
We
was about
do.
to say, I'm like, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's an outing. I mean, the other day, so my dad was here and we went there and Matthew's like, let's take our bikes there, which is absolutely. And I'm like, I'll drive grandpa, So my dad and I drove and met them there. But yeah, it's all back roads from our house. So it's like a super cool little fun. It's like a mile and a half from our house. It's great. Size 14 today.
It's awesome.
Rocking it. User 55. I'm on Wegovy. I've lost 54 pounds. Please share how you do maintenance. Ha! I do maintenance like a blizzard in Buffalo. Which
Yep.
means you think you could throw on cruise control and just kind of go, oh, I'm just going to take 5 milligrams every week and I'll be fine. No, it's not how it works for me anyway.
Yeah, some people it's more chaotic. Some people drop their dose and then just find a dose that kind of gives them a little bit of appetite control while still, allowing them to eat a little bit more. And then every once in a while they're just like starving. So they, like for compounded at least, they go up the next week back to their other dose and then drop it back down. Um, Typically I have patients start to drop their dose and maintain it every 7 days still, just to keep blood levels more stable. We have patients stretching it out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We had someone the other day mention that, they take it like once a month as maintenance, and that just
Not really.
not really doing anything. It's pretty much out of your system. So you may get like
Well,
a week or so
if
of
it's a super
support.
low dose, you could take it to interrupt the drift, right? If it's
Correct. Ideally, I like it more consistent. So some people do, like, let's say we had compound and they want to do 5 every 2 weeks. I would rather you do 2.5 of tirzepatide every week,
Mhm.
to keep it more stable and having less peaks and troughs. With any medication, that's the better choice.
Yeah,
If you're
Ladybug, what are
stuck,
your side effects? Pop in your side effects, what they are while Neil's talking.
yeah. I mean, if you're like stuck because you're on brand name at 1.7 and you're not due for the next dose yet, yeah, I would space it out a little bit, see where it works for you, whether it's 9 days, 10 days, 8 days. Um, and then the next time you could fill it, I would go after the 1, honestly. And if you could fill a little early, like if it was me, I could fill it early, I would start to drop it to 1, keep like a 1.7 pen laying around. And if I have a week where I'm like dying, pop 1.7 pen and then go back to 1 the next week.
Yep. Yep. We go live once a week for public. Um, Usually Tuesdays. Summer's a little squirrely, so there's changes, and we're gonna be announcing every like Sunday night or Monday on TikTok when we're going live that week. Couple of weeks it'll be on Courtney's. We'll post where it's gonna be. Or you can go to watchdrmo.com. Oh, just look for the announcement because we'll tell you when it is. So
FDD Emily, yeah, yeah. I don't like every 2 weeks for maintenance. I like it more frequent.
yeah, but fill it as often as insurance will let you. Major burning over the whole stomach area, no emotion at all, blank slate, no appetite at all. So I think so a couple things to unpack. First of all, if your side effects are scaring you, don't tolerate them. Let's find a way to fix them with your provider, which would be my first thing. If we were your provider, we would say something like, first of all, you've got to work on your hydration. That burning, if it's a burning skin feeling, I get that when I don't hydrate. I didn't do my body armor for 2 days and it felt like I had a wicked sunburn. It makes my nerve pain worse. It makes I get the funky nerve pain things. Um, it makes everything worse. So I mean, imagine that, right? Neural impulses and chemicals. You need chemicals, Paul. You need chemicals. Um, sorry. See, whenever there's a hater, I'm telling you, he'll live in infamy forever. Anyway, we'll leave the other ones to go. But um, so for Tracy, it doesn't matter real quick. Oh yeah, my kid just reminded me of something. But for the side effects, the low energy, that could be a couple of different things. It could be the mental energy, I mean. It could be either you're now having to deal with emotions that you really didn't have to before, which is quite possible. We ripped away your blankie and you're stuck there as a little kid in a crib crying with no coping skills, or minimal coping skills, depending. Um, and I'm allowed to say that, right? Because it's me. And or you need a couple of bites of fruit every now and then. I get that you don't have an appetite, and that's fine. And I don't think that, like, people say, oh, 1,200 calories is too low. I don't think you should really shoot for a number, especially in the beginning, because Neil, we were talking about this last week, where we don't like for people to do the number in the beginning, but you need to look for the sweet spot where you have enough energy to take a walk around the block. Or, I'm not talking, you're not, oh, here, go run a marathon. That's not what I'm talking about. Get out of the chair, walk around the block, call some friends, the same things that are good for everything else in life, right? But so now the burning, we got to figure out if it's a big allergic reaction that also happens. Make sure it doesn't go into your throat and have hives because that's an ER visit. So, anyhow. Okay, I'll stop talking about that now.
All right. So Ronnie's Magical Life tips for a stall, but don't want to go up in dose quite yet. Doing a calorie deficit, protein, water, and movement. Jenna basically recommended like recalculating since the last your last loss because you might be having lower calories, which is say Ronnie said he did. But the thing is, if you're not losing, you're not in a calorie deficit. We might have to go a little lower. These are where I would recommend weighing and measuring foods to kind of really get an accurate amount that you're actually eating as opposed to just kind of guessing. I would kind of switch to mostly whole foods if you can tolerate that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be doing protein shakes. I would be choosing my whole foods, weighing and measuring them so you're accurate because they can be off by up to 20%. Like if you eat a prepackaged meal, it might say 500 calories when it's really 640, 700. They're allowed to be inaccurate. So I would definitely start there. Um, Let's see. And then I would make sure, and same thing, condiments, additives to everything you're having in your food. Those little packets from Chick-fil-A are like 140 calories, and people are going to eat 3 of them. Right there, that's if you do that a couple times a week, you just derailed your whole week.
Now, 1,300 calorie deficit. You're not. It's not a deficit. It might not even be 1,300 calories. The best food trackers in the world who are like actual trained dietitians and nutritionists can be off up to 30%. So don't worry about the number that is the deficit. Track your actual number. That is maintenance for you right now. Depending on how long your stall's been. If your stall's a week, it's not a stall.
Nope. Might just be gut full poop.
Yep, go poop. But it's really just data, right? You got to track your data. I feel like I'm doing all the things. So, and you might be. You might be. And how long's your stall been going too? Which is, yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon to stall a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you might need a little more of a calorie deficit. You just keep going and you just
And how often are you weighing?
Yeah.
Because that's a good data point. Because I hit a point last fall where I was like, I'm not losing anything. I can't get under, I can't get to where I need to be because my goal weight was 123 at the time. And I can't get there. I still have 5 pounds to go, because we're fixated on the weight. And which I'm not particularly anymore. Now I know where I feel good too, though. So you're weighing 1 time a week. I would weigh every day and take a weekly average and look at those numbers instead, because that gives you a better representation. Weighing once a week. Yeah. So you do have to eat to lose, but that's an excuse to eat too much for 99.9% of people. So you got to find a sweet spot to have enough energy to do things. But if you already have enough energy to do things, you're just eating too much. Courtney, where's Courtney when we need her?
And then I'll add on, like, if you're not ready, like we've had lots of patients not ready to go up. They can't afford to, they can't find their dose. So we've added medications in, like metformin to kind of get things going. There's lots of options. I always, would recommend non-pharmacology recommendations like food, exercise, calorie counting, making sure you're getting protein. I would make sure you're getting, I think it's Ronnie, I'm assuming is a guy, like at least 150 grams of protein a day, starting the day with 30 grams of breakfast. And that's where I would start. But weighing, measuring, whole foods.
Yeah, and it's funny to hear us say we want non-pharmacologic options first, which is God's honest truth.
Well, you're already using one, and every time you add one in, you can add a side effect. And then, like, like with geriatric medicine, like you're treating side effects. Like the patient's on 38 different medicines, and half of them are treating side effects of the other medicines.
What's interesting with you have to eat to lose. Also look at when you're eating and what you're eating. You might need to flip to just like a fruit a couple times a day instead of another source of carbohydrate, and all of a sudden you start losing, right? It could be something like that. It could be simple changes, but don't do them all at once because then you don't know which ones worked. But I would definitely recommend the daily data points with weighing. If you want data, right? If you want real data, once a week isn't great at data because then you've got to get a longer term. Now, if you tell me you're stalled for 6 months, weighing once a week, that's a decent data point. But if you weigh every day, it gives you 7 data points a week.
Just don't be alarmed if one day you're up half a pound, the next day you're down a quarter pound, and then you're up a pound. Like it's all over the place, and it's like water weight, gut contents, hydration status. Like there's lots of things there.
So yeah, and that is very frustrating. You're doing all the things that are recommended. So, and you're also stressed out about doing the things that are recommended that aren't working.
So let's talk about our pillars. If you haven't tuned in until recent, Ronnie, like we recommend our 4 pillars. Basically, the first one is going to be getting your protein in. I'm assuming you're a guy, like I said, 150 grams of protein a day, 30 at breakfast. Make sure you're hydrated. We like electrolyte drink at least once a day, because you're not getting that from your food. Sleep. So 7 quality hours of sleep if you can do it. Sometimes that's a challenge. And then decreasing stress. And like she's talking about, like you're stressed. I'm assuming you're stressed because I would be if I wasn't losing and frustrated, is trying to reduce stress as much as possible. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol says we're not losing weight, no matter what you do to me. So
Yeah, I know that's the tough part is like I said, like I never put it together. We talk about these pillars twice a week religiously, over and over again with text messages and everything else. And here's me saying, I don't know why I can't stop eating chocolate. And I'm super, I don't know why I'm 8 pounds up and can't lose it. No
I'll give
shit.
my anecdotal. Like, so like for a while, like we would have like sweets in the house, kids are home, whatever. So it's like the weeks they're here, we have like donuts and other things. And I'll have them in the morning, and sometimes it's just easier than making a breakfast. I've been doing protein in the morning. Like I did it the other morning. I think I had 50 grams of protein. That was at like 8. Wasn't hungry again until like 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, I probably need to eat before I go to the gym.
Right. It's a total difference. And
Yeah.
it's your body's quiet, your brain is quiet. And it really is food quality. When we talk about this food quality, and I'm not talking be fanatical because the
Mhm.
orthorexia will get you too, right? That's the stress part. Um, you don't want to be fanatical about it, but you also don't want to be like willy-nilly either.
Well, at this point, we're at a stall. I think we got to be fanatical about it for a little bit until we get things going and see how things, I do 100 trim.
Have some fun with it. Instead of like not stressed, because I'm not gonna look at the pink elephant. I'm not gonna look at the pink elephant. Not gonna think of the pink elephant. Have some fun with it. Like make a little bit of a dinner that you enjoy. You know what? Like when my dad was here, we would have cheese and olives and crackers, which we would share a little plate of, which was hard for me because I had to count my macros. So, like, I don't have to count my macros. I've started to because I really working. I need to work on body composition a little bit. I got some goals. Um, I would just want to lose 3%, 3%, preferably 4, but 3 I'll take. Um, so I got to work on that. But I'm trying to have fun with it. And we were eating that. I realized I really enjoy sitting, nibbling, watching a movie. I mean, even feel the difference in my energy when it calms down. When I just remember sitting there eating. We were watching Top Gun, admittedly, just chilling. Put the fun things back in. Just be
Yeah.
okay with it, I guess.
Ronnie, try all that. Um, Add some electrolytes to your water if you're not already. And then let us know how it goes over the next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't
Next
give
week,
up. That's the biggest thing. Don't quit.
yes. Next week we're going Wednesday. I'm taking
Wednesday?
Tuesday off. I know it's a pain in the ass. My kid's birthday is Tuesday.
Okay.
I know, I know. Unless you guys want to go Wednesday without me. Or Tuesday without me, I mean. I was gonna go Tuesday next week, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll go Tuesday and Wednesday. If I can squeak in like maybe an hour on Tuesday, we can do Tuesday and
No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday's good for me. I'm already here on the computer, so we're good. That works for me.
You're like, what the
I just wasn't sure what day I worked next week.
is my car beeping? I don't know. I hope not. My kid just sent me a text. Is that your car beeping? It's okay. The other text said, Mother, you're not listening to me. I require your assistance. That was the text that came across.
Mother.
Mother, I'm busy. Check or something.
I hope to hear good things next week. Even
Yes.
if it's Wednesday or the week after, because it would be on a Tuesday, probably a Tuesday. I don't know. Um, schedule looks like, but
It is on the schedule though. If you're our patient, the live is on our schedule. It will be posted every Monday on the socials if you're public. So the public live, not the patient live is 9 times out of 10 Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. But that doesn't really change. If I'm not available, I just have somebody else do it. The public lives, um, oh, well, Marilee, thanks. That was amazing. Oh, so read this on the TikTok. Oh my gosh, Dr. Mo, I just love you. I've lost 15 pounds on my compound meds. So we had a lot of people today, Mary, ask about compound medications, if we think they're good, if we think it's right, if we think blah, blah, blah. You know, and our biggest thing, we did talk about our backgrounds in medicine, is first do no harm, right? And there are sterility concerns about compounded that have essentially been abated by the legislation that came across after that whole fiasco in 2012. So even the compound pharmacies that have imploded in the last 2 years that we've been doing this, they have imploded for reasons that were not related to their medications. Their medications, I still believe, were safe. It's usually the back end bookies. So
Yeah, one was dealing drugs out of the back, and the other one had a very personal problem. And our mental health system sucks. We'll just go there.
right.
Leave it at that.
Yeah.
You're always getting the love.
Huh?
You always get the love.
I
He was on those chat lines too, helping people lose weight.
I know, right? You know why? So here's the thing. So we're winning though. Sorry, my kid just told me the car's still there. Okay, that's good. Because it's in the garage. No, but here's the funny part though, because one of the things I learned this week is people don't pay for your presence, they pay for your standard. And that's actually super reassuring to me that we're setting these high standards. Well, that's why I hired who I hire. It's Neil, Courtney, Amanda, and Brandon. We're not screwing around. And Laura is now way involved. So Dr. Galdamez is looking at protocol, like looking at the checklist, like just that's the thing. Like we're not shills, Paul. See, Paul set the tone for the whole live. Pretty funny, actually. Might have been Dad. I don't know. I can't look on my phone. My phone's on TikTok. I can't help it. My kid's asking me all these questions about my car. I'm like, I don't know. I can't check the camera.
Few minutes, kid. Few minutes.
I know. I'm like, give me a minute. We got 5 more minutes before we're done. Then I gotta go take him to Taekwondo and pick up whatever package that is from the office. I hope it's nothing. Creepy Santa, maybe. Yes, we got a creepy Santa gift. Just whatever. But you know it's somebody's meds that were shipped to the wrong place.
I'm hoping not. Maybe it's a packet, something for me, Lily, because we prescribe so much.
We would if we could get it.
They'll prescribe, they just can't get it.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I know.
all
So
worth a try.
that is the tough thing about, we talked about the shortages earlier. So, hey guys, if you ever want to, first thing, if you want to come see us, go to amstelehealth.com. Second thing, if you want to watch the past lives, God bless you. But instead of hanging out with us, if you want to watch the replays, they're at watchdrmo.com. If you want to come hang out, go to amspublicgroup.com. Well, it's public, it's not medical advice, neither is this. And that's it. The patient group is for the patients. So you can't go there unless you're a patient. And then go there. It's amsprivategroup.com. That's on school, SKOOL. And yes, follow Neil because Neil needs to get his face on TikTok. Well, except for like the little circle face.
Then you can see I look like Aladdin apparently because I have earrings.
Bald with earrings. How is it not?
Thanks, Dad. Yeah.
He keeps the lantern under the desk so you can't see it. So that part's amazing. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I was almost said something like, I'm gonna save that. I'm totally gonna save that.
Yeah, come see us. We want to help everybody out, and if we can't help you out, we'll send you to somebody who can.
Yep. Yeah, we got lots of people we trust.
Yes, I want you to come see us, but I also want you to get care and whatever that takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even if you want to come here and you want to say, what questions do I ask my doctor? Like, we don't care. Just get help. Right? Just get it. My room is 95 degrees. I swear to God right now.
All that computer action. Heating up.
Whew. For sure. All right, we're gonna cut this off for the day because I gotta make sure my car is still in the garage. I don't know.
All right. Everybody, thank you for coming. I'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Check the socials for when we're coming back. And we will see you. You gotta see my thumb because we're gonna end it here and then we'll end on the YouTube. I can't find it. I can't figure out where to not do it.